has a haircut today, and he doesn't really need a haircut, but I'm gonna get a little trim around the chest, the butt, his face, his beard, and I think that should be enough. Come on. Puppy, you ready for a haircut? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so Teddy is at the dog groomer, and I decided this time to stay in the car. I'm hoping it's a little bit faster. He's not getting a full haircut. He's just getting a little bit of a trim because I think he looks cute, and I don't know, it seems like it didn't grow that much. So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm going to read. I brought the Anywhere With You by Aleph book, and see how many pages or chapters I can get through. I got some iced coffee, and I got an egg sandwich. And I forgot one thing though. If I'm recording, which actually I'm not going to record me reading, because then I can't listen to Spotify, and I don't want to sit in the car the whole time with the car on with the air conditioner. I kind of want to open up the windows. It's a beautiful day today. So yeah, I'll see you after when Teddy gets done with his haircut. Bye. There's Teddy, all nice and clean. Now we go home. Bye, puppy. I put the fuzzy microphone cover on because I'm taking this outside, and if it's windy, and I think that's supposed to go on there. I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, so it's not raining, so I'm going to bring this outside. Come on, puppy. You coming out? Teddy, you coming outside? Let's go. Come on. We're going to talk about this book, Anywhere With You. And who's with me? Teddy's with me. Hey, buddy. Look, I'm in the forest on a road trip. No, I'm not. This is my backyard. There's lots of trees back here. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about Anywhere With You by Aleph. And so far, I'm on almost page 100. And what chapter will be next? Chapter 9. I like this book, especially coming off of the Sundown Motel, which was eerie and creepy and had ghosts. This is kind of like watching a Netflix rom-com with Lindsay Lohan, which I love those movies that they've been putting out every year during the holidays. I think they're fun. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's, again, about 4 friends that grew up together. 2 sisters, and I'm not sure if the 2 guys are brothers, and one is recently divorced, and her friend that she has not seen, her BFF, a man, pops back into her life. Meanwhile, she hears from her sister that she's getting married to the other guy from their childhood, but they have like a very toxic relationship. They date and they break up, they date and they break up. Now she announces that they're getting married. So Charlie, main character, female, decides that don't get married yet until they get there, because they're gonna elope because they're also doing like a road trip kind of thing, or camping or something. So I think his name is Ethan. So Ethan, her friend who she has not seen because her husband never liked him, I don't know if he was jealous or whatever, so they decide to hop in his van because he lives a van life and go. Basically, she wants to stop this wedding. And that's where I'm at right now. And I like it because there's lots of pop culture references to music. I guess from the 2005-ish era, 2000. There's movie references, and ooh, there's a bee. That's not a bee, that's a yellow jack. No, stay away from me. Yeah, there's like a reference to Twilight and some other movies and TV shows and books, and again, the music. So I like that whole part of it, you know. I wasn't a teenager at that time. Yeah, no, I wasn't a teenager, that's for sure. So I like where it's going. You know, there's a lot of exposition dialogue, and after watching that YouTube channel, Everything Wrong With, and then they named the movie, and they constantly call out all of the exposition dialogue. So now whenever I watch a movie or a TV show, and they reference something from their past that would never normally happen in a real human conversation, I catch it right away while I'm reading books. And there's a lot of that in here. Oh, there she goes again. She's throwing up in the car. Remember that time? You know, kind of like that. It's like, yeah, people don't talk like that. But again, it's a book, and I guess there's a need for exposition. However, this does take place in two different time periods. There's the current. I'm just watching that bee. Just stay away from me. I don't know, like, bees and wasps love me. I don't know why. They're very attracted to me. What was that? There you go. Yeah. Jesus. All this for a video. Oh my god. See, I totally lost my train of thought. I'll catch it again. Oh yeah, so there's two different time periods. And the current, where she's recently divorced and going after her sister to stop this wedding. And then basically where the four of them meet. And that pretty much happens in like chapter 2. Because I do not like to give out too much information. I want you to read it for yourself if you want to. And they have a very close relationship, the four of them. So there's Charlie and Evan, who are around the same age. And then there's the other sister who's older to Charlie, Laurel. And the other character is Petey, and he's really close with Laurel. So you have these four characters, and so far they're all likable. You know, there's no one to really dislike. They're interesting characters. I think the character development so far is really cool. Within the first two chapters, even the first, you really get a sense of who Charlie is, and then chapter 2 or 3, whatever it is, you get a sense who Evan is. And in the very beginning, there are video calls. This is the Laurel and Petey, and just great character descriptions. You have a sense of who they are, and you can totally picture them, because this is what I do. You know, reading, you picture it in your head, and you start to picture it, well, I guess I could see this as a movie or a TV show. And I like where it's going. They haven't gotten to them yet to stop the wedding, and we'll see what happens. And the dynamic between Evan and Charlie is nice, because you could tell time has passed since they've been together as friends, because she got married and now she's divorced. So they're rekindling that friendship, and let's see where that goes. So yeah, that's my take so far on Anywhere With You by Ellie Palmer. And I'm gonna get out of my little forest over here and take care of my dog, because he's waiting for me. So I like how whenever I come out here, sometimes he's not in the mood to play. As soon as I start doing something, whether I'm picking out weeds or something, that's when he runs up to me to play. He's actually being really good right now. He's just looking around. Just watch out for the bees. Teddy, watch out for the bees. All right, catch you from some other location later. Okay, so I wanted to do a list of books that are on my radar. Not buying them, because I'm trying not to buy new books. At the same time, sometimes I see them and I'm like, oh, I'm going to forget about them. So I add them to my want to read on Goodreads. And I would try to find out when the paperback's coming out to get that instead. But I don't want to get that neurotic about it. So let's go to Goodreads. Okay, my connection out here is terrible. Let's turn off Wi-Fi. Okay, so a new book that came out, The Book of Guilt by Catherine Chidgey. It's England, 1979. There's 3 brothers, and they were kept at a secluded New Forest home. I believe it takes place post-World War II, and they had no interaction with other kids. Basically an experiment. And there were 3 departments observing them. Someone with the Book of Dreams, the Book of Knowledge, and the Book of Guilt. All the boys want is to be sent to the big house in Margate, where they imagine a life of sun, sea, and fairground rides. But as the government looks to shut down the Sycamore homes, the triplets begin to question everything they have been told. Gradually surrendering its dark secrets, the Book of Guilt is a profoundly unnerving exploration of belonging in a world where some lives are valued less than others. The Nimbus came out, a dazzling debut novel about a child whose literal enlightenment sets the stage for an exuberant tragic comedy of marriage, religion, and parenthood. Teddy! So basically this child starts to glow, and it affects certain characters in the book's lives. There's one woman who can't see him glowing, so whatever dynamic that has, I guess that makes her upset that she doesn't see this glow. Five Found Dead by Sulari Gentile. She wrote The Woman in the Library, which came out last year or a year ago, a murder mystery thriller book. So I'm looking at that. Review ratings, not so great, so who knows. Brother Bronte. How come all the books that I'm interested have low reviews? Maybe that means something. I should be willing to just give them a try and see if they're worth it. Two women fight to save their dystopian border town and literature in this gonzo near future adventure. Sure, that sounds okay. Amity. This one I was really interested in, and I have it marked to get from the library, which I just got notified that it is available, but since I'm reading some other stuff right now, I might as well let someone else get it. It's set during the Great American Frontier. A gripping story about a brother and sister emancipated from slavery, but still searching for true freedom and their odyssey across the deserts of Mexico to finally reunite, all while escaping a former master still intent on the bondage. And it's set in New Orleans, 1866. It sounds interesting. Fonseca by Jessica Francis Kane. The story acclaimed English author Penelope Fitzgerald never wrote, of her real-life journey to Mexico with her son in search of a much-needed inheritance by Jessica Francis Kane, best-selling author of Rules for Visiting. Of monsters in mainframes, I saw that in the library. Spaceships aren't programmed to seek revenge, but for Dracula, Dimitri will make an exception. It just sounds like a wacky ride. One Yellow Eye. It's about zombie plague going on, and the government have rounded up all of the undead and disposing of them to stop the spread of the infection. And I don't know if they're the attacking kind. Oh, I hope that got on camera. A big bumblebee. That was cool. And she's also like a scientist or pharmacist, chemist, something like that. She's working on a cure, so she decides to keep her husband secret that he's still alive in their home. And it's basically a race against time for her to find the cure before her coworkers or the police or whatever find out that she's hiding him in their house. That just sounded really cool. Angel Down. It's a science fiction fantasy book about, this takes place during World War I, and an angel from heaven drops down in the trenches or something, and these soldiers basically fight to keep this angel protected and alive. And there might be a key to the angel helping them in the end. I don't know, but it sounded fantastical, and I'm interested in that. I'm not gonna buy it, but I'm interested in reading it. Typewriter Beach by Meg Waite Clayton. And I like this because it referenced Alfred Hitchcock. So really quick. Set in Hollywood and Carmel by the Sea, an unforgettable story of the unlikely friendship between an Oscar-nominated screenwriter and a young actress hoping to be Alfred Hitchcock's new star, from the internationally best-selling author of The Postmistress of Paris and The Last Train to London. So it takes place in 1957, and it also takes place in 2018. I love the whole old Hollywood vibe, which is why I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And that is it for books that have recently come out on my radar. Okay, bye! So it is Friday, and I'm almost done with this book. I have 100 pages left, and I do want to finish it before I start editing the vlog video tomorrow. And I really don't want this to pass a week of, reading time. I think I started it on Monday or Tuesday. It is getting cooler out, and I want to move on to something more dark or mysterious, or a murder mystery, or I don't know. We'll see. So let's get reading. Okay, so it's Saturday. I finished Anywhere with You last night. And actually not last night, yesterday afternoon, literally half an hour before I had to get ready for work. I just wanted to finish it. It's the only book I read this week. I've just been busy and I haven't been reading multiple books at the same time. I took notes because I feel like I forget to say things when I'm on camera. This has been in my bag that I carry to work forever, and I never write in it. You ever have intentions of writing in a journal and you just don't? So I think I finally found a use for it, to write my notes on a book. about a book rather. I definitely recommend this book. It was like watching a rom-com from Netflix, but not a Hallmark Channel show, because I've seen one of those. Those are pretty bad. But this was funny. It's about relationships, which I learned I really enjoyed reading about. And, you know, you got these two sisters and these two boys. The sisters moved into the neighborhood, I think maybe around 13 years old, and they met these two boys, and they became fast friends, the four of them. The two older becoming really close. Laurel and Petey. And then you have Ethan and Charlie. And you learn why in the book Charlie keeps Ethan as her BFF. There's a reason why, you know, how she grew up with her parents, and, you know, she wants the husband, she wants the super career, which she achieves, and, you know, she wants the house, the big beautiful house, and for whatever reason, she chose not to pursue Ethan in this search for this perfect family. She just rather had kept him as a BFF, and they've had a great relationship over the years. So you learn about that, why she did that. I recommend it. You know, if you're reading a serious book and you need something a little bit lighter and happier, and yeah, there's a couple chapters in the back that definitely made me teary. It was just very touching. Yeah, I recommend it. I think it was a cute, fun, end of summer read about a little bit of a road trip and camping, if you like that stuff. A little bit of boat paddling. I liked it. It was good. So Anywhere with You by Ellie Palmer, I do recommend it. I did give it a 4 out of 5, just because it lifted my spirits a little bit after reading The Perks of Being a Wallflower, because that definitely was a bit sad, especially towards the end. So speaking of road trips and camper vans, I have only read one book this week, but there are 2 books that I started reading, and I put them off to the side, and I get back to them once in a while. It's been a while, though. And one of them, speaking of road trips, is Jack Kerouac's Big Sur. I probably should have picked On the Road to start with, because they say that was his masterpiece. And, you know, they describe Jack Kerouac as a writer who... it's just like a stream of consciousness. I guess he just sat in front of the typewriter and just started typing away. No sentence structure, really. It's just literally a stream of words. Like, I don't know if you could see that. And I started it. And this one, Big Sur, I'm trying to understand it. It's definitely a stream of consciousness. He's just traveling. And this book is a lot of his personal life. So it's like borderline memoir / general fiction, contemporary fiction, literary fiction, and I guess it's like a little adventure that he goes on walking. Yeah, so I probably should have started On the Road, because that is a higher rated book. But I did get this because I liked the illustrated cover, which I thought was cool. So I will continue with it. I'm on chapter 10. And let's see what page I'm on. Page 35. So I'm definitely going to try it again and see if I do enjoy it more, because I was reading this before I went to bed, and I'm trying to get into it, and it kind of just kept drifting off. I'm like, what is going on? And when you're describing topographical environments, I find that more difficult to picture in my head. And it's not that he's doing a bad job. He is. It's just that I'm not generating that image in my mental holodeck, I guess you could say. And it just became a little bit difficult. So I kind of absorb that information, quickly draw something in my mind, but it's probably not accurate as to what he's saying in the book. So I don't know how important that is when you read, to properly picture everything in your head. But again, I will continue with it and see if it's worth a read, or I'll pick up On the Road and maybe start with that one first. So we'll see. And also, I've heard that people now considered Jack Kerouac a little bit overrated, and I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with that, as I have not even finished one book by him. but I wonder if his writing style holds up to today, as it was back in, I believe, the 60s. And yeah, we'll see if, you know, his writing is even readable nowadays, unless you're into that whole thing. Yeah, 1962. So we'll see. The other book, again, where I'm having problem just keeping up with it and understanding what's going on, is Jorge Luis Borges, The Aleph and Other Stories. And yeah, hold that up for you. It's a Penguin classic. At one point I was trying to make a nice collection of Penguin classics, but then signature classics also, they're just beautiful covers. So half of them are Penguin classics and half of them are from signature classics. I'm on page 20. There's no chapter numbers. It's a collection of stories that they say are linked together, I believe. Full of philosophical puzzles and supernatural surprises, these stories contain some of Borges's most fully realized human characters. With uncanny insight, he takes us inside the minds of an unrepentant Nazi, an imprisoned Mayan priest, fanatical Christian theologians, a woman plotting vengeance on her father's killer, and a man awaiting his assassin in a Buenos Aires guest house. It sounds like a collection of stories, but I also heard that they're all connected, or he wanted them to be included together. I'm not really sure, so we'll see. I will probably start over again since I've barely even begun it, and see if I enjoy it at all. And then, so for my next read, you know, as you know, if you remember from the other video, I'm not doing a monthly TBR anymore. That doesn't mean that there is no TBR in the back of my mind of books that I want to read. Everything on the bookshelf I want to read. So I was in the mood for a classic set in the autumn, and I had mentioned Rebecca. So yeah, my battery did go dead, and instead of changing the battery, this week's vlog is pretty much wrapped up. But yeah, so we got Rebecca, which I want to get into, but I also wanted to, I picked out some short story collections from classic literature, except for Stoner by John Williams. I've heard great things about this book. I might choose this instead. We'll see. And I was also looking for a shorter book, so the short stories might be a better option for me. So I got In Our Time by Ernest Hemingway, and it's a collection of his short stories. And then Back to Daphne du Maurier. This was in the horror section. This might be more appropriate now, since Halloween's coming up and it's fall weather coming up, although it is hot today. So I might pick this instead. And then this has been on my list for a while. Leo Tolstoy's The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Other Stories. So that's why I might pick one of these three books, four books to go with first. And I like that cover. I like that wallpaper. It's a cool painting. So yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions of which one of these I should pick for this week or whatever it is, let me know in the comments. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and any past videos and you have any suggestions. I would definitely love that. All right, take care. Now I'm going to put all this stuff together and edit it before I go back to work tonight. And say hi, Teddy. Say bye, Teddy. Bye-bye.